Works you. Okay.
Welcome to CBSI, Tales from the Flipside. I'm your weekend update correspondent, Nico, and today we have some of your favorite Flipside members. Gentlemen, will you please introduce yourself?
Jon Z, back from a 1 week hiatus.
Ben S, back from a 3-month hiatus. I don't know.
Who's that guy?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought you were
I've been
taking
gone
hostage.
forever. I know. I almost forgot how to do a podcast.
I'm Deno, and we're flipping the switch tonight, boys. Over the top style. We ain't messing around. And then I do want to announce, since Nico did such a great interview with Matt Nelson from CGC, we did get 1,000 subscribers. So
Sweet.
we have enabled Super Chat. We've done some things. So hopefully we can get back to the community and stuff. So,
Are you sure I can't talk about it?
no, you can't. No, you can't. Next show. I'll give it to you next show.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay.
So
Nico, you can talk about anything you want.
Do you want to show that graphic?
What graphic?
The peach.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. So, comicbook.com actually made this today and actually released it today. It's
Our
a
madman Inigo.
Yep, a peach Momoko on fire checklist. So,
Did you guys see some of the comments on our Facebook page about this?
on the Facebook
No.
or on the website?
No, on our Facebook. So we posted it on the Facebook page.
Yep.
We linked it on there. So if you're on Facebook, you can actually I posted it, and you can link that, and it'll take you to comicbookinvest.com. But yeah, it's not what I didn't. I mean, I expected, because the wide range of what people think about Peach Momoko to start with.
So this is if you're on Facebook, as you can see, Comic Book Speculating Investing CBSI community page. You will have to request a admission because it's a private group, but you should get as long as you answer your questions. Make sure you all answer the questions, and then you guys can do it. Mr. Stein somewhere put it. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Jesus, Ben, when'd you do
Did
it?
you already pass it?
No.
Was it right to
What
the
were the
top?
comments we were getting?
I can't stand her art. Why would she be hot at all? You know,
That's
those
fine.
type of things.
That's one.
Well, I think
Yeah.
I think it's different. People like different.
It is totally different, and I think sometimes I like the Gwen with the phone thing. I don't necessarily like where she homaged herself.
So
now, guys, let me ask you this: is there not a no heroin variant or two that wasn't on that graphic? Is this graphic limited to books that have only been released, or
Yes. So no
okay.
heroin.
I
has
think
not
that.
been
Yeah,
released yet.
Frank Gogol did respond and said that I guess it has released, but I don't know if it's in people's. It's only the metal version that's been sent out, but I'm not sure it's actually made it into people's hands yet.
yeah, I've
Nico's
actually had the
pretty-
metal version.
He's
Oh, you
pretty
do have the metal version?
Yeah,
literal
I got
on
one.
released or not released.
So this is some of the comments. Let's go through Peach Trading. Frank Gogol, guy who's been on the podcast, replying in the actual thread because we're really famous out here. Peach's hit or miss with me. I grabbed the Batman Adventures Continue #1 variant. Honestly, she's been doing so much lately. I'm kind of getting Peach fatigue. Not to mention she's beating that phone selfie, the variant, to death. Was that like her third with the same
I got
concept? Oh, look at you.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
you.
Look at
So
this
yeah, so that will be added.
thing. Lord have mercy.
But here's the
Lord
question:
mercy.
is the standard book out on shelves to buy?
No,
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far.
it's not. It's he did respond back.
That's like a promo book, honestly.
So right here, Jonathan Hall. I don't know if he's a real retailer or whatever.
Yeah, he's Hive Comics. They've got a retailer exclusive store.
So hoping the regular Peach variants will be distributed the last week of June, so they are not on the shelves yet. I don't know anyone outside of a couple of spec groups who believe Peach Momoko is quote unquote hot from a spec standpoint. Also, I don't know anyone outside of the spec group who likes her work in general to be very good. You gotta check out our sketchbooks. This could be a big thing. 2012 and 2014 sketchbooks, kind of like Hughes sketchbooks and
Oh
Campbell
wow, that's
sketchbooks.
cool. I didn't know she'd been around that long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you're looking for a cool flip, that'd probably be a cool flip because I could see that in a couple of years being like Del Auto sketchbooks and Hughes
For real, Del Auto's go
sketchbooks.
masters.
Look, I'm on the modern train, baby. We can do all this all day.
Hey, and
So-
she's super cool. She talks to her fans. I got a buddy who is diehard. Like, he's got all of them, and he's got an ongoing dialogue with her. She's very responsive. I'm not sure where she lives, but it's outside of the United States. And for whatever reason, she's just, constantly responding to DMs. I don't think he's special, but, very responsive, and that's a welcome change. So,
Yeah, and I think a lot of people just don't. Maybe they just don't like that anime style, and that she definitely has that. So I think that's probably a lot of it.
Right there,
Well,
that's a good one. So, some people hate Art German, some people love Liefeld. It is what it is, man.
Well, she obviously hasn't hit yet because some freaking online retailer hasn't swiped her work and thrown boobs on it. So she must not have hit
TJ
yet.
Timebomb, you said some people love Liefeld. That should be singular. One person loves Liefeld.
no, that's not true. That's not true. Okay, so one of my
There's
all-time,
like 3.
yeah, it's serious. One of my all-time favorite stories. I was in the store where TJ works. Actually, he may have actually been there. I'm not sure, but this is a real true story. So I'm digging through the dollar bins. They've got an incredible selection of dollar books, and I'm in the back. And this guy comes in with. He looks like Walker Texas Ranger. He's dressed like Walker Texas Ranger, but he was a Latino man, I think, or Indian or Muslim, or I don't really know. But I was like, what the fuck is going on over there? Why is he dressed like Walker Texas Ranger? This is southeastern Ohio, not Texas. And he was there with the woman who may have been his girlfriend, may have been his mother. And I'm just like, I got to talk to these people. So, I'm trying to like chat him up. And I was like, oh, what kind of books do you collect? I'll pull them for you if you like them. And he's like, I collect Rob Liefeld's Youngblood. And what else did he say? Blood Wolf or something? And I was just like, what is happening? Am I on candid camera? Is this real life? Yeah. And I was just pulling out stacks, dude.
Ozzy.
Stacks of them. I'm like, here. And he bought them all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Liefeld loves
I'm still
Liefeld.
talking. It's been like a year and a half. I'm still talking about it.
Stop talking about it.
Sorry.
Well,
He
anything goes
spent a
down.
whopping
Southeast Ohio to start
$6 in
with.
that store for a stack like this. Oh God!
Yeah.
What happened? Did the volume?
Oh, no, we're good.
Pickups.
Where'd the audio go?
No, we're
Oh,
good.
All right.
Go to pickups. I don't have any pickups.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh,
Really? Ben,
Well, okay.
you've been gone for like 6 months. You had to have found something.
Well, I do, and I'm not going back through old stuff. But I was on vacation last week. I was out of town, and I ended up. Well, these I ordered a while ago, but I ended up buying a bunch of sports cards that I probably
Ooh.
shouldn't have bought. But
Oh,
but I
where were you
I
at?
did get it.
Where'd you go?
Huh?
Where'd
I
you
was
go?
I was in Hilton Head.
Nice.
But I did get these. These did come while I was on vacation. So I did get. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I know some people were really upset with ECCC or Breed Pop or whatever for only shipping out 2 issues, but I had no problem with it. I only ordered 2 to start with, so it wasn't really a big deal. But I know some people were like, "Oh, I ordered like 20 from like 5 different people that I know and was shipping them to all these different houses around me and stuff." And I'm like, whatever.
You were trying to be a dealer.
Yeah, I wanted to get 2. I wanted one for myself, and I'll move the other one, and I'll be done. I don't really care.
Well, I gotta say that artist, what is it, Tyler Christopher?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it backwards on that? I get confused.
John Tyler Christopher, JTC.
He's impressive that he has developed 2 distinct fucking styles and lives off them.
If you even find his regular, just his normal variants, he's really good. He's got a wide range.
Well, yeah,
But
but I
what-
mean, the action figure and those negative space are completely different things.
Oh, they are completely. But I mean,
And
even
I-
But even
Yeah,
like
I'm not. I'm
like
not
his
saying it as
regular
a
art.
negative, like I would like JSC has the same book over and over. I'm like, but he has come up with two designs that are so distinct, but also really well because they're cool.
Yeah. No, these negative ones they're pretty nice. It's a really stunning book to actually look at in person, but
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Congrats to him.
that's my big monster pickups.
No sports cards you're not going to share?
I don't think anybody really wants to see all the cards. Here, I'll show
You
a
should
couple.
give us a little tease.
Okay.
McClay's not here. I'm
Okay,
letting you
I
do
will
it.
share.
You know I don't want to, but I'm letting you.
Oh wow, this is
All
a new
right.
day.
I'm gonna show a couple that I did buy just over the last couple weeks or whatever. Obviously, some of you know, some of you don't know. I live just outside of Cincinnati, so big Reds fan.
Sorry.
So
Huge.
yeah. So I did get I got a Jose Rio. I loved Jose Rio back in the day. So it's a 93 refractor, which I've always wanted. Let's see here, what else? I got a Barry Larkin Topps Tiffany rookie, 9.5.
Can't go wrong with Barry Larkin.
No, I got a Joey Votto Bowman Chrome, 9.5 rookie. And a couple other things that I picked up that are kind of off the wall. I got a Griffey refractor PSA 10
Nice.
with the Reds. I hate the Yankees, but I thought Mariano Rivera was just unbelievable. And this Stadium Club, this is like worth nothing. It's like probably a dime card. I mean, it's just a nothing card. But when I saw a PSA 10 of it, the picture on it is just so ridiculously stunning.
Oh, wow.
That I had to. It's from his last game, and so it's just the picture is just ridiculous.
That's gorgeous. That's like getting your favorite book in a 9.8, even though nobody cares.
Right. It's just beautiful. And lastly, this came in while I was on vacation as well. It's a Nolan Arenado Chrome rookie.
Look at you, Nolan Arenado, baby.
Yeah, so I got those. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
I will do Ben. I guess I go pickups because Ben wasn't here last pickups, and I know Z wasn't, so only Nico was here. So I'll do my pickups. So I saw this last time, but it's okay. So
Shout
Mr.
out to
Robert
Dennis Chadler, man, another Indiana guy.
So welcome. Mr. Robert Fordham sent me a bunch of stuff. So I bought a Teen Titans 12. So I've been collecting those. He sent me actually 2 God Countries with it. One in I think cover 1B. And then look Z, look at this. He sent me a
foreign
Turkish.
How do you know it's Turkish?
Robert told me in the live chat last time.
Oh, I was like, damn. Damn fucking impressive. Jesus,
Nico can read.
You should have just said, I fucking know all languages. Thank you.
Because I know Arabic and stuff, I think, or Turkish. Check this out. It's a DCU universe. Look at that. 9.8.
Wait, where did you get that?
Oh, baby. You don't want to see me out here in the streets.
Somebody else had that. Was that you?
I know somebody who has.
Did somebody else get one?
Nope. This is the one I had. This is the one I bought on eBay.
Daryl Miller has 2 of them.
Daryl Miller has 2. There's another one floating out there, and I have one. So
nice. That's a cool one.
There's one listing on eBay right now for $3,000.
I lied. It's Lebanese.
I was gonna say I didn't think that was Turkish.
So, I bought this for
the other one that's out there listed. That's obviously not Daryl's or yours.
No, it's Daryl.
Oh, it is Daryl's. Okay.
I talked to Daryl about it. So I bought this raw from Doc Joe because he's hating me in the fucking chat right now. So Doc Joe sent this, and I said for the amount of money for it, it was very cheap. I go, why didn't you buy it? He's like, no, man, no, I probably won't get a 9.8, blah, blah, blah. I said, screw it. I'll take the chance. I'll take the hitter. And if I got a 9.6, I probably would have got destroyed on it. But my man, Magic, Sean Legg, put it up real nice for me. So.
Well, now you can sell it to Doc Joe, and he'll be happy.
For $3,000, let's go. No.
Hey, you give him the love price as Mel V from that's been kind enough to guest on the top 10. The love price of $28.50.
$28.50. and to some books to be named later. You know what's funny? Stein actually said the last sale was only $800, man,
For
Only.
9.8.
for 9.8. I was surprised. I mean, I was surprised. Like, it's right, Stein. It's probably the hardest DCU variant to get in 9.8, right?
up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
up there. I mean,
it's rare.
There are some. I will say that there are some that are rarer. That
yeah.
are much harder to find. Now, I don't know about condition. That black one's tough. I've only found that one once.
But it's one of the more sought after rare ones
It
because
is.
not all DCUs are sought after
Correct.
outside of the hardcore audience. To have a cross kind of promotional, a cover of a relevant storyline or a relevant kind of book.
What's a 9.6 going for? I don't know. I don't have GPA anymore.
All of the Funeral for a Friends,
Yeah.
the DCUs sell well. None of them are really that easy to find.
Well, and it's because that's a storyline that all of us kind of grew up with, love it, hate it. It's in the cultural zeitgeist, and it's just there. So that's
It's an all black cover too, right? I mean,
yeah.
Did I give you my speech about my favorite one?
Go ahead.
It's the
Muppet
Green
Babies.
Lantern. Yeah, it's the Green Lantern woman in a refrigerator
Oh yeah,
one. Yeah,
Kyle Rayner.
the Kyle Rayner, right. So there's a DCU variant, and what I would like to do is get a 9.8 signature series with Gail Simone and who's the Cyber Frog guy? Ethan Van Sciver fighting in pen on the cover.
Is that issue 51? Is that what that is?
51, 52, not sure, but I like that you do. And I think it's important historically, but I also think that it's important personally that I get to enjoy their dispute in, pen on a cover. So like maybe they could just draw themselves beating on one another or something.
Well, I don't think it has to be a 9.8 then. It could be a whatever grade you want. It would be.
Dude, if I could just get them both on the same book, I'd be happy.
I think you'd have to do Ethan second.
You think
I think he would rebuttal. I think if you put him first, it'd be hard to get the other way.
You're probably right, Z. I'd probably go with.
If I'm going to logic, I'm going to go first to her and then second to him because I think if you put him on there, you're not going to get a response from her.
Well, every time I talk about this, the probability of me being able to pull it off decreases. We'll see.
Well, I mean, it used to be 8 people watch us. We've got a whopping 34. So I mean there's
it's getting there.
5 times as many people that know this theory as last time you said it.
I do want to go back and backtrack. I picked something up, but it's not here. It's a pre-order actually, and it's a Peach Momoko style. I had to get a Peach Momoko Horizon Zero Dawn variant because it's going to be a #1, and it's going to be a movie. So that's what I bought.
I like that image that they did without the label. This pre-order without the information on label. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. I bought it from.
Am I the only one who absolutely hates pre-order 9.8?
I usually okay. I'm gonna segregate.
I never win on them, so
I do too. I bought this is the only one I bought because I know they're gonna make a movie on this, and it's gonna be. It won't be. I bought it for $90, man. I mean, whatever. I mean.
No, I mean remember when, and I don't know if they still do it or not, but some of those retailer like those exclusives or whatever, they're like, we're only having 200 copies of this, and all 200 are going to be 9.8s. Well,
that defeats the whole purpose of having any of them.
Yeah, if they're all 9.8s, then who cares? They could be all 9.2s.
A better contest, the way to do that is we're going to grade 200 of them, but I'm going to bin the shit out of 195 of them. So 5 of you get 9.8s. The rest of you are fucked.
Well,
I would gamble on.
Sort of like, man, I hate how CGC does this. There was, I don't remember which book it was, but I think it was that Greg Horn Punisher or something that just came out. And somebody said something like, they're all damaged and CGC is aware of it, so you're not going to get dinged on it. And I'm like, if it's not a 9.8, then why would you just ignore a damaged portion of it? You can't just ignore it. Either it's a really 9.8 or if they're all 9.6s, and who cares?
It all started with Marvel chipping. We know that Marvel's chip, so let's be a little lenient because all of them look like that. But at some point when you're like, well, Diamond put them all in a box and they all got, the one retailer is getting them all, they all got taking and shipping. That's not the same. Like
Yeah,
a printer defect versus a shipping defect feel different to me. Like the foils. Remember the foils from like 3 years ago?
Yeah, the disaster
And
that was.
that broad that was selling them all to us at Baltimore mishandled every single copy. Well, they're all defected because she bent them all. Well, that's not a production error.
Correct.
But even if it was, I mean, like in sports cards, I mean, if there's no 10s, then there's just no 10s. I mean,
That's right.
Yeah,
I mean, if there was a 10, let's say there was 1,000 printed, and there was one of them that snuck by somehow, and was an actual 10, and all the rest of them were 9s. Well, that's doing a complete disservice to that 110 that deserves the 10 or that deserves a 9.8. If it didn't for some reason happen to not be, it's a better copy than the other ones. I just don't like grading. I don't like grading. If you're going to bend the rules, then you don't really have rules.
Oh yeah, great on the curve. Look at Matt Nelson.
Listen, I get why they do it. They also are here to make money, and if they don't make money. It's frustrating from Ben's point of view. I get it.
How was that, Nico?
The interview?
Yeah.
He's brilliant. I think there was a little bit of animosity from people in the comment section because they were looking to ask him questions that were better suited for the marketing team, quality control, the primary grader for modern comics. I really just tried to focus on asking him questions about the kinds of books that he grades, which are predominantly Golden Age, Silver Age,
vintage books.
Vintage comics is kind of how I described it. But he's just a wealth of knowledge, and he's really
he's a super nice guy.
Yeah, articulate and smart.
You do not
and
get that gig not knowing what you're doing.
Whew.
Right.
Yeah, and I do want to say he did offer that I'm not going to spoil it, but we might get the modern guy on. So hopefully,
that'd be fun.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Be nice, guys. Be nice.
Yeah.
How many graders do they have?
Good question, because I actually looked it up. So only give me 1 second. Meet the team. There's like a meet the team kind of thing. It was crazy.
They must have a bunch. I mean, they move a lot of books.
Yeah, but those are only those aren't like the rookie, like lower level graders. Those are like that's middle management or executive management. I probably should say.
Oh, look at this. Look at I actually saved it because that's what kind of guy I am. So this is their primary grader and restoration detecting specialist. That's one. That's Matt Nelson, Mr. Nelson. Sean Cafferty is the modern age specialist that we are trying to get on. Hopefully he comes on. Dave, was it Kulu? I think he said Cooley. Finalized and magazine specialist. And then all these people are graders. So I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. That's 13 graders and a consultant, but 13 graders really.
Are they all smiling? Because I think
yeah, everybody's happy.
See, sometimes they don't grade happy, so I just making sure. I was trying to see.
It was a good day.
Brad doesn't look very happy.
Well, probably a Brad.
That's why once in a while you get a bad day. You get a bad grade.
How do you But yeah, how do you get in as a grader in training?
I don't think it's a grader in training. I like when they hire people, they're like they want people that grade. They want to know your background.
Matt Nelson talked to me about this before. He wants people. They're starting to. I'm not saying this is what they've always done. They're starting to have people who work on the inside primarily. So they're bringing internal people in. They've realized that people internally who have worked in shipping and all that other stuff, quality and checking in books and all, get the roundabout knowledge of how the whole system works, and they have a better core understanding of what CGC does. So that's what they've been trying to aim for, is hiring people internally to be graders. So that's what he told me.
You guys ready to talk about the real controversy?
My pickups?
Yes.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Are you going to show them all?
What was your controversy so we go back to it?
No, whether or not you're going to show all of the books or not.
Oh, no.
Why you gotta be like that, Z?
Do it.
I need to
We're gonna
break
be
it
an
up
hour
in 2
in the
weeks
pickups.
because I don't know if I'm going to get shipments for the next month and a half around here.
Fine.
I got stuff in probably 5 countries.
You act like
Leave
you
me
live in
waiting.
West Virginia.
That's a good point.
My shipping is coming like a Nico's internet, man. I am going to start with the book everyone is going to fucking envy.
Oh boy.
Because you guys fucking love when I do this shit.
Oh god.
This is a belated.
It's
First 2 are belated birthday gifts from my brother. I actually went up and caught up with him this week.
It's a Western clown cover.
No, even better. My other thing. This is a very high printed, early modern book that very few 9/8 seem to exist in the series. Probably because nobody grades them. But I have not only a prime number 1, but the silver 1 in 5,000.
Strong.
With the
strong
silver logo, 9/8. I have not checked for a minute, but last I checked, the standard cover still did not have a 9/8. That was probably 6 months ago. So if there are some, I've fallen off. But I was hunting for one and it didn't exist. And I've looked at a bunch.
Is it because nobody wants to spend the $27 to grade that book?
Yes.
Potentially, but Ozzy and myself have been looking at every copy we've ever seen and still not found a good candidate. So potentially they were 12-cent fodder for so long that less than we want are gradable. I think there's 2 of this version, though.
So Ozzy follows you down this rabbit hole?
No, he's trying to find it for me.
Ah, okay.
No
I
one.
was about to lose a little bit of respect for Oz.
No, he just humors me because it's like I can find something awesome for you that you will enjoy that cost me a penny.
I was going to be really mean and say no one's stupid enough to follow Z down the rabbit hole of Prime 1.
Hey, man, we all got to have a hobby that's cheap. That's my hobby that's cheap.
I want to stress that having a good hobby that's cheap, like I want every, I don't even know, what's a cheap or real cheap, but every Justice League Europe variant and Justice League Europe cover. I mean, it's cheap and it's fun. And
well, there's just something like me and the one boy pick up shark comics, and I'm not buying $100 shark. I expect the $2 ones, man.
I did show you that one golden age.
Ozzy.
Oh boy.
I do buy some expensive ones when I find one I like, but I mean, some of those shark covers are ridiculous. Our man DS Comics, who kind of haunts us on the site and over at Golden Guys, he posted a Tip Top 52 that I've been hunting for forever, and he has the only one I've seen in years, and it was gorgeous.
Wow,
very very nice shark cover. He is a shark cover fanatic and kills me on him. So, another one he threw me another book in with that was the Legion of Superheroes variant.
Oh wow,
is that the naked one?
No, we don't talk about. God damn it, Ben! We don't talk about that anymore.
Don't get them fired up, man.
Listen.
Hey, it's better than the original.
And here it comes.
Here we go.
I'm honestly, I already asked a lawyer about this and can sue because I would fucking get behind him and do a social media campaign. I actually want to do a smear campaign because it's fucking ridiculous.
Do it.
You are stealing the man's art and putting tits on it and selling it for your own profit. It's fucking ridiculous.
Do it.
If Liefeld had that done and people put tits on their feet,
he would do a cameo for $100 and tell you about it.
Yeah. All right. So this one was Global Comics Safari. We covered this issue. There's 4 real editions, the American and 3 foreigns. This is one of them. I actually had several of these and sold them all, and Ozzy was happy enough to give me one back, so I appreciate it.
Hey, look at that comment, brother. Carnage 6-second print has a cool Molino shark cover.
Oh, I've not seen that one. I'll check it out, man. Thanks, Mark. Sadly, I think I might have to go foreigns now because I don't think I have any more Americans.
Oh, boy.
So this is Teen Titans 54,
Wow.
the E-Ball, which is Brazil.
Ooh, that's nice.
It is a really nice looking copy.
I can't hate on you now about that.
Believe it or not, this is the only Teen Titan or Brave and the Bold 54 I have. I've sold all the U.S. editions.
I can't believe you had a ton of them, dude.
I had close to 15 at some point. So I sold them all because I just kept finding them. I got bored. So this popped up and I'm like, I need it. Why not? I can buy another American if I need to. I don't know how many foreign editions there are, but this one was too gorgeous to pass up. I mean, the color is gorgeous.
Where'd you get it from? eBay?
Oh no, I got this from my contact in that requires me to travel through the jungles of Brazil and ship it through 3D intermediaries. So yeah.
Where's the graphic?
Yeah, I didn't prep for it. This is actually also Brazil, different seller. This is also Ebal. This is the Shazam #1. It is not the standard Shazam #1. There was a, let's call it promotional edition of 300 copies. So A, 300 copies. B, Brazil. Handful of these have floated around the foreign comic group. The foreign comic collector magazine group on Facebook is a good place to check them out. But on top of all of this being a very, very, very nice copy of it, it has a flyer in the back that discusses the promotional launch of this book. And on the back has an autograph page to collect autographs of the people involved.
Ooh.
No one else has seen this piece of paper, this flyer that goes with it.
This is only valid if you can translate that.
Whatever. I do see 300 examples.
Let me see it. It's Portuguese, right? It's a Brazilian?
Yeah.
Yeah, Edico okay. Yeah. Augusto of 17, day 17 of 1973. That's not bad.
So of the few editions that have popped up of the 300, none of them have this additional kind of insert with it. So, and it's not like a piece of photocopied paper. It is a glossy like insert that was in the book. So, it for what it is. The last two, you guys know I have a Mary Marvel kind of addiction. One of the guys from the Flipside kind of community shot me a link to this. Two more of the UK Mary Marvel editions.
Wow.
These are literally all just newsprint. The cover's newsprint, everything's newsprint. But what I like about them is like the boots and the lightning bolt and the trim are all in like this silver kind of metallic ink. And it just kind of pops. It doesn't do real well on the screen on this edition, but it's just cool to look at. And then I got one more of them that actually it now is the traditional yellow. So I got 4 of these UK editions now, and for the price I'm paying, I'm very happy to find them. So that's me.
Do you prefer to keep those raw? Do you prefer to keep those raw or get them graded?
I have found grading only means I'm likely to sell it. So most things I'm not grading. I don't have any purpose to grade them. I'm not selling them right now. In my head, they're either not ready to sell, that there's not enough interest in them, and maybe there never will be in some of them. But once I grade something, it becomes a commodity. So I've learned not to grade something unless I want to make it a commodity. Because once it's graded, you're like, well, I know exactly what it's worth. I know I could sell it tomorrow. And then I'm tempted to list it. So I don't want to sell these, and I'm not going to put them closer to being sold.
Another Paul moment.
It was a pretty poignant Paul moment. So that's what I got.
Good stuff, man.
33 minutes, not bad for pickups this week. Let's go. All right, so since we got done with the meat and potato section, let's talk about some real stuff. Nico's the man on the top left. You're gonna lead this show. All right,
well, yeah, this is my first time. You guys are all in trouble now. So can we talk a little bit about?
No. Okay, go ahead.
Get your talk out before your internet dies.
I feel like I'm on my old fucking podcast where I was like, "Hey, I got a really interesting idea," and then it was like, "Shut up."
You don't have time to lead in, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
DC.
Yep.
Diamond. No more.
I know.
Thoughts?
Sad days.
I would actually wait. Let's take advantage of this. I would love to know in the chat, and if you're watching us later in the comments, What do you feel about this? Is this a pro? Is this a con? What are your thoughts on DC and Diamond? This is a great place to air this.
So let's talk about let's give readers a little or the viewers a little bit of
background.
Background because
talk about
you said there wasn't time for me to do that.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, okay.
There's only time if Deno wants there to be time.
That's right.
It is like my old podcast.
That's right. I'm taking over this damn podcast.
All right. So, long story short, Diamond and DC have parted ways. DC Publishing is now going to be exclusively distributed by a analog corporation for DCBS, Discount Comic Book Service, and Midtown, which is upsetting a number of retailers because they have perceived both Midtown Comics and DCBS as long-standing competition in the market, particularly DCBS, who, when they entered the market, was wholesaling comics to collectors who were no longer going into local comic shops and spending their Wednesday dollars. As Midtown has risen in the ranks, and DCBS has seen more interest. We've seen, again, a lot of people turn to these large national retailers for their weekly or monthly books. So what's interesting, I think, for people on the outside who are not local comic shop owners or proprietors is that, for the better part of 20 years, there's been a lot of animosity that went the way of Diamond and Steve Geppi because they're a monopoly on the market. Why isn't there competition? And now there's competition in the market, and people are like, why are you doing that? We don't want to deal with a different vendor. This is bad. And so there's been a number of very public figures, not the least of which is the owner of Mile High Comics, that have come out and indicated that this is a terrible move by Diamond, losing this account, a terrible move by DC for betraying local comic shops. And,
the problem is don't be careful what you ask for, because when you finally ask for it, you gotta know like the results, man. Right?
I'm gonna play the devil's advocate on this conversation because I can see both sides, but for as long as I've been back in comics, at least a decade now, there have been shop owners sharing pictures of Diamond fails. There's a shop owners group that exclusive Diamond vendors get in and share issues that have went in Diamond shipping and things that have went wrong, and their complaints that Diamond forgets things, Diamond damages their retailer exclusive, Diamond damages their entire shipment for a week and they're delayed. Things go wrong, and they're so frustrated by Diamond, and there's no competition. So, I mean, this has been an ongoing theme. The gentleman in Detroit, I can't think of his name, has
Harley
Wonderland. What is it?
Harley E.
No. The guy that Wonderland Comics.
Big Ben Comics.
No, it's something with a wonder. But there's a gentleman very well known for being very anti-Diamond. The Retailers Summit every year has some guys that just crush on them, and almost every vendor I've met at some point has complained about Diamond and their shipping. They're like,
Wonderworld Comics.
Wonderworld, thank you. We want better shipping. We want better conditions. And when this happened, these two entities got the deal to ship because Diamond decided to take a hiatus. Right, wrong, or indifferent, they decided that was best in the industry. Great. DC decided they didn't want to wait. They contracted with Midtown and DCBS to fill the niche. Lo and behold, comics came wrapped in bubble wrap, packaged fairly safely. The retailers were upset it cost more for that. The prices were up on those shipments. Okay, costs a little more to ship, slightly nicer. We all know that. Anybody that sold the comic on eBay, you're going to throw a comic in an envelope and it's going to get there, but it's probably going to get there damaged. You put it in, a bag and a board between some cardboard and in a Gemini or a Uline mailer or a USPS box. It's going to get there nicer, and the percentage of damage is going to be way, way low. So you've got to decide what is important to you. You can't be mad that they're doing a better job on some things, but you're mad because it costs more.
Yep.
How much more does it cost?
I don't. That's a detail I don't have. And there's so many other sides, but that was my initial take.
Okay, when I got back into comics forever ago, before I took my 5-6 year hiatus, I loved DCBS because I could order ratio variants and they would be shipped to me in My Light 2s with fullbacks. I think I ordered 50 copies of Saga 1. I got like 59/8 because they were shipped to me in My Light 2s with fullbacks, and then wrapped in bubble wrap. I don't know that those kind of days are here now, that I'm not a Wednesday warrior anymore, but there's certainly an appeal for individual buyers. I think a lot of fear is, will smaller retailers, small shops be able to, suffer the increased shipping costs? The margins are already so small on DC and Marvel and independent books, for that matter, all modern books. What's this going to do to them? Will it drive smaller independent publishers out of the field? What happens if Diamond goes away? I mean, so it's a time in the country generally where I think everybody in America has a little anxiety about something, and people who are in business and entrepreneurs themselves probably have more anxiety than most. But I obviously don't have a crystal ball. I just think it's important to kind of talk about these issues, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to see the hate point of view. Anything Chuck Rosanti says, I take with a complete grain of salt, because he has no business. He got mad at SDCC for charging high prices on vendor tables, and I'm like, dude, you're charging high prices on your books, so don't.
Hey, a new mutant is 9840 for $3,000.
Yeah, so you have no right to sit there and complain about that.
He's the guy that basically invented the pedigree.
Right. Yeah. So I'm trying to understand the additional cost thing. So, like, let's say just a local, just an average store, on DC books in a week. Let's say that they, get, 10 copies of Batman, and like, 3 or 4 copies of Wonder Woman. So let's say they get 50 books a week total from DC. If they were having them shipped from Diamond, let's say 50 books, what, $10 probably to ship them to them, and now it's 12. I mean, so they may lose $2.
Well, wait a second too. And to be a Diamond, to be able to order from Diamond, you got to have a minimum. And I don't quote me on this. I think it's
that was across all publishers.
Okay. Yeah. But
now you've got to deal with 2 minimums, maybe.
Yeah.
And I guess that's. I mean, I would think that Diamond would lower their minimum at that point if there's going to be no DC books. And I'm sure that DC has the thought of it being like a monopolistic type thing with Midtown and with DCBS and stuff like that. I'm sure that, it seems like what they've set up is that they have made them separate from that portion. Yes, we're going to give you this contract, but you can't utilize that contract for your benefit. It's not going to be stuff, we're going to send you, we're going to send, each one of you guys, we're going to send 50,000 copies of Batman 92. And, and now just because you have 50,000 copies, that you can do whatever you want to with those 50,000 copies.
All right, now guys, can I ask the shark question?
Sure.
Is there an opportunity for Wednesday warrioring like never before, based upon the transition? Will there be shortages on some titles, shortages on variants? What are the distribution numbers going to look like? Is that something that you think people are going to be particularly keen to? or will they be throwing these books out on the shelves of Walmart like they've done, with some of their giant size books?
So you're saying like for like the next 6 months while this is kind of brand new, you think print runs are going to be way down?
I don't know.
Kind of like
I don't think
Detective Comics was back towards the end of the run.
I think it's interesting. It's something, those kinds of ideas are percolating. So,
it has to be relevant content, though.
What do you mean relevant content?
DC has to do their part and make it relevant content in those books or something interesting because, yes, a low print run book at some point has value, but if DC storytelling is shit and the distribution model is shit, then nobody cares. But if DC all of a sudden is putting out some great quality and people can't find it, then you create a wild storm.
Yeah.
Some of those books though from just before New 52 started though, I mean, it didn't necessarily have to have great content.
And how many people
Decade 80 is low print.
And how many people
people weren't buying that because of the Black Mirror storyline. They're buying it because of the jock cover. And all of a sudden they only have a print run of 40,000. That's pretty low. And now nobody can find it. So it didn't necessarily have to do with Black Mirror.
No, but we're talking a low point in the industry of there were so many people not buying comics at the time versus I would say New 52 brought in a lot of new people. And since then it's continued to go up. So a relative low number now is different than a low number then where the industry was down, distribution was down across the board, and now the hobby exploded by 5 to 10-fold.
And how many distributors are going to sign up for, or how many comic retailers are going to sign up for 2 different distribution points? Honestly, I mean, if you got to carry 2 minimums, right?
They have to though. It's DC.
Well,
it's not like it's
Image or some.
Yeah, I would even go beyond Image, but it's not like it's Boom or IDW that said.
Yeah, I think you
can't leave Batman out.
I think we'll be shocked. I do. But I'll tell you this much: when that fucking movie hits big screens, you better believe everybody and their brother who's got a brick and mortar store is going to have a DCBS or Midtown account. And they'll have Batman on the shelf. We've all been. I hate to say this. I said that I wouldn't say this publicly, but I'm going to say it. I mean, we've all been to comic shops, and you meet the guy that owns the store, and you're like, I wonder how he didn't get lost here in the morning. Like how did he make it? Does he live in the attic? Like does he run a generator? How does the electric bill get paid? Like how does the water bill get paid? Like who is this dude? And I'm not saying that there's not like normal people that are in comics, but far too often, like in no other industry in the world, I think you see guys that are like, I love comics. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And you're like, you should get a day job, dude. They struggle.
I got to tell you this real offside story. Like 3 weeks ago, I happened to be in Kentucky, which is, bad in itself, but I stopped in a place I'd never been in before. And I kid you not, I walked in and the guy had carts sitting in front of his comics. And I said, can I look at these comics? And he kind of looked at me like, well, you can maybe move the shelf if you want to. And I'm like, well, how do I do that? He's like, you just pull it. I'm like, okay. So I'm like reaching behind this thing. And then he's got these wall books up there. I said, can I look at those wall books? He was like, no, you can't really look at those. Do you want to sell anything? I mean, I've got money in my pocket. I'll buy something, but it just made me think of that when you said some of these guys look so lost.
We all laugh because we've all got not just a comparable story, but like many comparable stories. So like while the transition for vendors is not a big deal for like an average entrepreneur who's capable of doing it might be a big deal for a lot of guys who,
Oh, it'd be like if CGC moved the forums to like a different forum besides CGC forums. Might be a big deal.
Well, I'm going to go the other end of the spectrum because we've been talking about the guys that maybe we're not sure can handle more complexity. There's other guys that, whether they own a brick and mortar or they don't own a brick and mortar, that these guys with diamond accounts that are
online
very, very savvy.
Super shrewd.
catch news that a book is hot and they know to order it. They know right away it's coming, and they clear out Diamond, or they know in advance and they get them all. They have fears that, okay, so it's all going through DCBS, it's all going through Midtown. There's already discussion that Midtown kind of flags accounts for, this is a specker, this is a guy that we know buys shit that's important. Something's triggering. If he's buying them, we're going to market. DCBS is not dumb. You know, we've seen what they've done to their variant prices. They do not sell things cheap anymore. What's to say they as the entity do not own the distribution arm, but they probably have very quick access to, this book is hot. There may be, let's say, 5,000 copies sitting in our warehouse that would have went to, you know, reorder purposes or get sent to Walmart or Five Below, that these people that realize it's shrewd to buy them now all of a sudden are cut off because DCBS or Midtown go, this is hot. Oh, we have none. And now those two individuals control the market.
I don't think that they're going to be able to do that, though. I don't think they're going to be able to say that there's no copies available.
Bullshit. I do not, on the initial.
Let's talk about Diamond.
Before FOC, they will not. But on a, let's say, a book that picks up heat after release or right at release, where the reorder point comes in, because there are people that live on the reorder. Like, this book came out, kind of slipped under the radar, and all of a sudden picks up heat. Diamond has copies sitting available. There's, let's say 20 really sharp guys that buy that shit up, and they own the market then.
Well, let's talk about, let's add on to that, and let's talk about how we heard of the stories of people who finagle the Diamond system and find these fucking 1 in 25 variants or 1 in 75 variants. Like, I'll just take Adventure Comics, Bermejo, Darkside variants that all of a sudden they were really scarce, and all of a sudden there's 100 at Diamond just laying around because somebody put in some kind of search term and got them. I mean, does that go away too?
Also sales. I just think
warehouse finds. That's another good one. You know,
Diamond is so clueless on the actual comic industry, where DCBS and Midtown do play in this market, and they have some
very
rudimentary understanding of the comic market and know where there's money to be made.
Yeah, that's a good one. Asking LCSs to order from their competitors.
I have no skin in this game. I mean, I play no modern markets, and this whole thing is crazy to me. And I can see all sides of it being pro. I can see all sides being con. Let me ask this question. Let's say we went to Bezos.
Yep.
What would you do with the comic market? What would you do to make it more efficient? What would he say?
To make it more efficient?
Well, I mean,
let's say we have a distribution model that's not working. What would Bezos say?
I mean, he kind of already jumped in when they bought out the digital service.
Exactly. Get rid of the fucking physical copies.
I mean, he already did that. I mean, he bought out, what was the comic?
Comixology? Is that what?
Yeah, Comixology. Yeah, Amazon bought them.
Well, and if he had a physical problem, he would just do the same thing he just did and just partner with USPS and the largest national firm and be like, I'll just give you a big contract for USPS and you're going to distribute all my product for me. Be done with it.
I mean, if the competition is not there and the person's doing a shitty job, he's going to move in and do it.
No.
That's all.
I think we could clearly go on for hours, and maybe we should talk about this.
Do you guys think that, lastly on that, do you think that DC is going to bring back incentive variants, at least for the short term, to make this work?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
When's the last time they had incentive variants? New 52?
They've done a couple because they did with the Crush,
Punchline.
First appearance, Punchline.
When was the last time they consistently did it?
I think it's New 52.
Because, I mean, the issue is, like, if you're only doing selected ones, you already know it's hot. When you make money as a secondary market is when they're doing a bunch of them and something slips under the radar.
Well, it's kind of like the old the Spider Gwens. Is that the Campbell? What is it? The remember the 24? It was the one with him and Spider Gwen and Miles. I think were on the. something that was like so far out there that everybody gave up on the whole series, and all of a sudden it's 10 of them are out there because nobody really ordered that shit.
Yeah, that's where money is to be made when there's so many variants that you have to play the bunch. When DC's only putting out a dozen to 20 a year, well, you're going to buy those because they already know something's up.
So again, I think we should probably table this and come back to it next week, and maybe every single week until these things publish, because Lord knows everybody's going to be talking about it and thinking about it. But it kind of parlays into the other major change we wanted to talk about, the big shakeup at the other nationwide retailer. Deno, you've got the graphic. Do you want to explain what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I can do it. It's going to.
Is Ben into this yet?
I don't think so.
I think he jumped on late.
So the graphic is going to kind of smush us, but it's no big deal. So my comic shop upgraded their consignment terms and conditions. So they're saying that now the maximum listing for a buy it now format to consign on a thing, items with an estimated market value of 6 months is $50, or estimated market value up to $50 is 6 months. 50 to 1,000 is 12 months. This is how long they can list until they go to auction, and we're going to talk about how you can extend that. Items with an estimated market value of $1,000 or more is you can list it on a buy it now format for 2 years. If the item has not sold by the end of whatever period you're in, this must be auctioned. As an alternative to auction the item, the consignor may choose to continue to buy it now listing, but will be charged a storage fee each month until the item sells, as described below. And what I'm going to do is go down to the below. For raw unslabbed comics, the monthly storage charge is 0.25% of the buy it now price, or 20%, whichever is greater, or 20 cents, whatever is greater. And for slab comics, it's 25%, 0.25 of the buy it now price, 0.25, not 25%. It's a quarter of 1%. The buy it now price, or $1, whichever is greater. So if you say you had an AF-15 and it was a $20,000 comic and it hasn't sold in 2 years, if you didn't extend your listing period, it's going to go to auction theoretically.
Hold on, you ready? Or if you lost your credit card and the auto bill, you didn't update it.
Bingo. So,
but is the point of this to
they're not storing books for free anymore?
No, well, what I'm saying is, I mean, you see a lot of these my comic shop listings, and they're like double market price. Is that basically kind of trying to get the market price to where?
Yeah. And the thing too is like that, and not storing books for free anymore. You know, I mean, it's probably killing them on their insurance. You know, because they got so many books, and they're just it's like
imagine
it's like. Yeah, and it's like,
what do you think they pay?
Oh gosh, I can't imagine.
Instead of me paying for a safety deposit box every year or some kind of big insurance thing, I'd send all my shit in my comic shop because it's free and just put it up for $100,000. It's never going to sell, but I don't care, right?
Well, and also like they only have so many listings for each book.
Yeah,
they could do thousands of listings per issue, but they don't. They limit it somewhere. I don't know what the formula is. I don't know if it's 20, I don't know if it's 10, I don't know where it is, but they've got some kind of sales demand versus how many have moved that they will allow posted. I mean, have you ever seen a my comic shop with more than, let's say, probably 16, maybe it's 20? I mean, they don't have that many.
I mean, okay, so that's a good
so
question.
Some asshole has a 0.5 AF-15 at $50,000, they'll let him do it, but he's blocking other AF-15s from being listed.
I mean, Spawn 1 only has 4 pages. Or no, I'm sorry. Spawn 1 only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably 30 listings. I mean, Spawn 1, I mean, how many people sent Spawn 1 into my comic shop?
Exactly. I mean, there is a limit to what they will list.
Yeah.
And how many could they sell and get a consignment fee if some asshole isn't sitting on this number that's triple value?
Yeah, and for me, the big takeaway is that these major retailers are making changes. They're making major changes because they sense that it may be a different market. That people are becoming more accustomed to online sales than going into brick and mortar stores, and they're looking to move more product. That we've seen just kind of an explosion of comic sales on eBay and Instagram and elsewhere, in spite of the fact that the whole world ground to a halt. So I'm interested in all of this stuff. I think,
maybe you should reach out to Buddy, because I'm willing to bet Buddy's one of the smarter men in comics.
Oh, I'd like to meet him sometime.
Maybe we'll have him on the show.
He would be a great interview.
How well do my comic shop auctions work? I mean, do they sell?
No, if you do, if you do the Prime auction, so they have Prime auctions, obviously. If you do the March auction, like right off the bat in March, before all the Comic Cons hit, March and stuff, you can make some pretty decent money if you have some pretty decent books. I mean, I did very well.
Yeah, and the other thing that Heritage rolled out, Ben, I'm sure you've seen this. They now have, for lack of a better description, buy it now listings of these like major books. And if they don't move that way, then they'll put them in premier auctions. So it's interesting. I think we're seeing like lots of innovation in the COVID-19 comic, market or whatever. Changes to who's distributing the books, changes to how they're being sold, just kind of like changes across the board. And I wonder what's next. And I wonder like if there's going to be new buying opportunities, new selling opportunities, and what, we may see over the course of the next like 3, 6, 9, 12 months.
So I'm gonna jump back because I'm fascinated by this topic, because everybody knows Chuck, because Chuck was very smart in the early years of comics. But I would argue Buddy at MCS Lone Star is one of the smartest guys in the last 30 years of comics.
Yep.
Fuck, you got mycomicshop.com. On its own, it's a genius move.
Well, and B,
and your interview a couple weeks ago of IG Comic Store. Those are people that are very, very shrewd very early and think of what is this industry doing later. Has anybody ever talked to my comic shop shipping poorly, doing a poor job? He undergrades, overperforms. I mean, the man is brilliant. They have an inventory system that's
the big thing. Having the inventory system, managing, and having his eBay store linked up to his My Comic Shop website.
Have you ever seen him buy books? My Comic Shop. Get a show. It's awesome. Like, they're sharp. They literally will just go around from retailer booth to booth. Kind of like make a whatever. Like, I'll pay for all of it. Here's how much.
Yep. Here, and I've
Close
seen guys
it down. It's ours. Put it in the truck.
Yep. They'll buy a whole wall and be like, "Here you go. Just take it all down."
He is a very, very smart man.
Yeah, it's strong. It's cool to watch, man.
He has built a distribution system that's bar none the best. I mean, the number of complaints of MCS shipping, I bet I can count on one hand. Nobody's ever said my auction took too long to ship. I mean, the man gets the shit out the door. Right. He gets it out well. It is amazing.
Their consignment there is beautiful. I talked to what's her name, Esty there, and she is an angel. Because I was like, hey, I can't find these books, dude. I can't find these books on the website. They're like some ratio variants that you can't even find, or they're, it was like the Vampirella Friesen variants. There's like a million Vampirellas. I'm like, I can't find them. She's like, don't worry, just ship them to me and put my name on them. I'll put them in the system for you. Yeah, who does that? No one does that.
It's DCBS. Their customer service is second to none.
Yep.
But they're only new comics.
I'm going to go to
Rag718 said the only thing that sucks about my comic shop is the sales do not go to GPA or go collect. I think there's some kind of deal though that like people pay for that info and nobody's made the right offer to Buddy. I think.
Oh,
well, I thought
Comic Link and Connect do not either.
Yeah, but I think our buddy's got it right.
Heritage doesn't. Yes, Saturday's guest does.
We got it.
Yeah.
Coverprice.com, Matt. Yeah. Check it out on Nico's show. Does have that info, but Heritage does not report to GPA, and nobody complains about that. Comic Link does not report. I don't think Comic Connect
Heritage goes to GPA.
Heritage does, but the other two do not.
No.
But Heritage info is questionable because they have so many fucking fees.
Yeah, but their fees, the GPA reports it with the fee cost, because that's how, like, if you look at all Heritage final auction prices, if it's $20,000, that includes the fees. So they've
Yeah,
got
but
it in there,
Heritage
and that's what it'll show on GPA.
Heritage has by far the highest fees. So when a book sells at Heritage, you're paying for the prestige of selling at Heritage, but you are paying so much more in fees than you are at any other auction venue.
Yeah, but
at least double, if not more.
It's 20%, but I mean, what is nice about, like, if you're trying to buy something on Heritage, is it's telling you I mean, you're about to bid, $10,000. It's telling you that's including the fee, so you know up front that you're paying for that fee.
I understand, but they have a double fee of Comic Link, Comic Connector, 10%. My comic shop is 10% or less. eBay is
yes, it's 20% from Heritage. Yes, 20% from Heritage.
So when you include that in there, it's a false information to me.
No,
because as a seller, you do not get that money.
But it's
somebody that paid the 20% for Heritage to get the premium sale could go the same route of anybody else and maybe not get that premium amount.
Right, they're not going to get the premium amount, but it's also not really the true sale then either.
I understand. I'm saying if you pay an extra 10% to get an extra 7%, did you really make money?
No, I mean, well, I think Heritage probably still gets the premium. I think that extra couple percent they're going to get. From what I've seen, their sell prices, including the fee, are always significantly higher.
Yeah, I get it. I think it's an interesting anomaly to include on GPA when MCS, who is the common man's auction site, is not on there.
Should we talk GPA prices? Is it that time?
Oh, we're gonna do a market report. Wait, Nico, we're at an hour and 6 minutes and you're still on the fucking show.
Yeah, I think I've solved my internet problem.
Did you kill your neighbor that was stealing your internet?
It's a long story, but the point is, I think I've resolved them.
How close do you live to those the whites?
Jesco and company is in Boone County, West Virginia. I am many, many, many hours away. I'm about 5 minutes from PA, 5 minutes from Ohio, in the northern panhandle. But I do have good Jesco White stories. For those who are unfamiliar, there's a PBS documentary about a gasoline huffing Elvis impersonator who once was on the Roseanne Barr show. Thereafter, Johnny Knoxville and company picked up and did a threequel or whatever. It's a sight to behold, but not indicative of West Virginia. Sort of an anomaly.
It's not
unquestionably disturbing.
I was pretty much prepared to run a line from Paul's house to yours because that's the only way we're going to get you internet.
Nice.
Hey, check your DMs when you get a chance, Nico. I sent you something juicy. But anyway, let's go to the market. Let's go to the market report. I'm kind of
you didn't send it to me, Deno?
No, I can't do that. You want me to send it to you?
Am I gonna spend money?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Okay, I'll send it to you. Anyways, I'm kind of out of order, so I'm going to start with your first one that I think you uploaded first, and it's this one. And let me share my screen so it looks actually pretty good.
We need to make a little. That's terrible.
Lord of mercy. All right. I was talking about the auction you sent me, but this one's staggering too. So Daredevil #1 is how it's reported on GPA. Daredevil Battles Hitler #1 is how CGC catalogs it. There's 58 blue labels on the census, 24 restored, a 9.6 that's highest graded.
Wow, half of them are restored. That's impressive.
7-0.
Wait. And it's from Spain.
Yeah.
What from Spain?
This auction.
Oh.
A lot of people didn't see this. There's a number of them from Spain. We'll talk about them all.
Wow.
7.0 moderate restoration, $2,900. CGC 8.5 blue label sold November of 2018 for $11,000. There's 3 7.0 restored copies that have sold in November of 2007. One sold for $1,700. In September of 2016, one sold for $1,900, and in August of 2011, one sold for $1,600 and change. 6.5 Blue Label sold for $4,300 in 2013. The one that's kind of closest, I guess, comparable price-wise was a C1 CGC 2.5 restored that sold for $2,000 in August of 2018.
Can I go back and question you?
Yeah.
Are there 3 distinct 7.0 restoreds, or is it the same one selling over and over?
I have no idea.
All right.
I have no idea.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Out there. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just am intrigued by the fact that 1/3 of the copies in the census are restored. That's a huge fucking number.
It is. There's 4 restored. So yeah, I mean it could be
restored 7.0s.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I wonder what makes this book.
Well, I mean, war books have been popular since the war.
I mean, honestly, like you said, there's 58 universal Blue Labels. There's 24 restored, 82 in all. So,
oh, that's a crazy number, right? Like, how many times do you see that many restored?
Yeah, not that many. Well, and the highest one, and it's funny because here's the other one. The highest graded Blue Labels a 9.6, if you believe it. There's six 9.4s, and then there's 1 restored at 9.6, which I can believe that. But Blue Labels at 9.6 for this book, man.
Wow, crazy. That's just a ratio of purple to blue I don't understand.
Yeah. I'm gonna go on to the next one. If everybody's cool with this one, right?
Yeah.
This one, dude.
Also from Spain. Submariner Comics number 11. It's arguably the most coveted cover of the run. Not my favorite, but definitely my second favorite. A CGC 7.0 with slight professional restoration for $2,786 and change. There's no GPA data on this book at all.
And this is the only copy of a restored 7.0. This is it.
Yeah, and it's never sold before, right? So,
I don't believe so.
And there's 36 Blue Labels, 12 restored, a 9.4 is the highest graded.
Yep.
There was a MA 5.5 restored copy from December of 2004 that sold for $192.
Oh.
A C2 4.5 restored in September of 2018 sold for $1,250.
That feels like a deal at this point then.
How did those books end up in Spain?
Don't worry, there's a third one. You ready for the third one?
People in Spain like comics.
Bang!
This guy's
lives.
a reputable dealer out of Spain. He's a big Golden Age guy. I have bid on his books in the past.
You got an interview lined up with him?
I don't even know who he is.
Well, you should work on that.
eBay, bro. Hit him in a message.
Submariner number 14. It's an old Blue Label 5.5, mislisted as a 7.5. A CGC 6.5 sold in 2012 for $4,138.
Oh, fudge.
Okay, now there were 2 copies that sold in 2018 in that condition for $2,200 and $1,800 respectively. A 5.5 sold in 2002 for $437.
Somebody got a deal.
There's only 34 Blue Labels, 7 restored copies total. Highest graded's a 9.6.
But isn't this pretty much the worst time to buy a book from overseas?
No question about it.
I mean, wasn't the thing with Australia? I mean, they're basically just sending them back to the sellers.
Oh, your chances of getting it are not great.
Yeah, it might be the best time to buy from an overseas buyer.
If you're willing to wait. I have a shipment sitting in Stockholm for 30 days right now.
Yeah, I'm waiting on a book from Australia, and I'm now waiting on this Submariner coming from Spain.
Well,
you bought this one?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
and B, I mean, like, I know
brilliant bastard.
I know it's not overseas, but like Canada, the Canadian exchange right now is so in favor for the United States that I'd buy it from Canada all day too. I mean, yeah, I'll get it sooner than you boys, but I mean, you know.
I got offered from a Canadian seller a very nice book that I'll show in about 3 weeks. So.
Hey, so how did I do it, guys?
Great.
Did you
God
buy all of
damn.
these?
No, you just bought that one.
Just this one.
Just
Yeah.
this one.
A fucking
The other
old
one.
blue label, way
Oh.
under market value. You son of a bitch.
That's what I thought too.
Did
I'm actually. When you tell me that the Australian shipment comes over, I'm going to drive over to your house, punch you, and take it. So that's okay.
did GPA correct the mislabel on the listing, or did they list it as a 7.5? So
It was not reported yet.
okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's just today. Okay, so
Yeah,
probably in the next
all
couple-
three of these were just today. I think all the books that we're talking about were just today. Books are moving. It's crazy out there. But I've been looking at that one forever. So we talked about a raw copy of this book last week, Z, when you weren't here.
Yep.
Robert Fordham was trying to explain a little bit to us about it. Lord knows I don't know anything, but I put it on there for you. And then the highest graded popped up and sold. So I was like, well, this one's for Z.
Yeah, I didn't research the last sale, but that feels like a hell of a price.
Robert Fordham says it's pretty rare.
Anything not U.S. in these keys is rare. Fuck, Silver Age, anything is nuts anywhere else. There's only a handful of countries that did Silver Age comics. DC was second tier to Marvel in the Silver Age, so there's only a handful of places. It's Australia, UK, Brazil, Mexico, and even Canada used the U.S. then. There's Canadian editions, so but they look the same. So there's only a handful of countries. Most countries preferred Marvel so much to DC. If you find an early DC key, they're so fucking rare.
You know why this went for a decent amount of money? It's the emojis.
It definitely the emojis help. That's $300 right there.
Easily.
Hey, Big Leg uses the check mark.
Hey, you don't give away the secrets, okay?
He needs his own emoji.
He
A
does.
raider with like a fucking a supersized raider. That's what he needs.
With a beer bottle.
A raider with a beer bottle punching somebody in the throat.
Yes. This one's next, right?
Yeah. So
That's an interesting book.
isn't it? Thor 134. There's 593 blue labels total on the census. 798s. Here's what's wild: the 2019 average price. What do you think, guys?
$325.
$1,539.
Oh, that's a grab.
Now, what's the 12-month average?
$1,700.
$917. There was only one sale in 2019. There were two sales in the last 12 months. Of course, this book is coveted to the extent that people believe the High Evolutionary is going to be the villain in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think the big number in 2019 was when Mark Hamill was rumored to be playing the High Evolutionary, and then James Gunn went off and knocked out the Suicide Squad. So who knows if this book will come back.
Well, the theory was he was going to be the maker of Rocket.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was an interesting play a few years ago, and I don't know, he drops again. It may be an interesting play again. Who knows?
I mean, that's like you said, but for $800, I mean,
It's a lot of money to have tied up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. On a whim kind of thing. Like, it could happen, it could not happen.
Well, if the high grades are down this much, maybe the low grades are an interesting play.
Could be.
I've been stockpiling them, actually.
Oh boy.
See?
But-
Boy.
When I say low grades, I mean low.
Hot tip. Buy your 1Os.
All right, so this one's cool.
R.I.P. Reagan's Rage.
Yeah.
ASM 194, CGC 98, 1775. There were two sales. The two highest sales were back in December of 2018 into January of 2019. Both those sales were for $2,500. Now let's talk about the lows. In 2018, the low was $1,200. 2019, the low was $1,320. 2020, the book sold for $1,500, and that was its low mark. Here's what I think is real interesting. How many blue labels do you think there are in the book total, slabbed?
Total?
Blue labels are 9/8.
Blue labels. We'll talk 9/8 in a sec.
3,500.
You're low. 5,300 and change. 351 9/8. Now here's the real interesting.
Fuck?
Hold on. You ready for the real interesting mark? There's 4 9/9s.
What the fuck? You're shitting me.
I can't make this stuff up.
4.9. Somebody fucking
No GPA data.
Somebody sent someone a hooker.
No GPA data.
Oh, well, that. But
So that implies that maybe one guy has all the 9/9s.
bingo.
Oh,
And I bet you it's the guy who was in on the Marvel when it what was it? What year was this? 70 or
wow.
79?
Well, this is one of those books that Sony rumors of the expanded universe keep coming and going. So like it's
Silver
ebbs and
Stable
flows a lot.
and Black Cat. Black
Whoa.
and Silver. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, no. Black Cat was in Sony's Spider-Man video game. I mean, that was huge too.
Jackpot and all these fucking second tier. I mean, I mean, of all the characters that have been rumored, even above Morbius, Kraven and Black Cat are the most interesting.
Kraven's still out of control, man. I saw a 6.5 for like $1,000, and I should have pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
And I didn't. But anyways.
I remember Baltimore the last time we were out there, we were all hunting it. Nobody could get a good copy.
Yep. They're all trash. Just like a couple of my other things I bought out there that I really want to speculate on because I haven't heard any news in a while about it, but that's okay.
Be back in comics, Deno. I'm kind of proud of you.
Well, I'm doing
Fatherhood has done you well.
So the missus loves comics more than she loves cards. So she goes, at least she
knows that there's some
she knows what I'm getting.
There's some research and some ingenuity that you can control in comics where cards are based on an athlete's performance, which are not always predictable.
You're totally thinking too much of this. I don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're opening if you just buy retail packs or you buy hobby boxes. You're just taking gambles. At least I can see the book, right?
Well, the Z family has absolutely no luck in opening or razzles or anything else, so we do not do that anymore.
I just buy singles now on eBay. I don't even, you know what? I can't even find cards by me, so I got to go back to comics.
I do congratulate Ozzy. He won himself a Losh 23 9.6.
He did. And if the other Z would join the damn Discord server, he could find some good things. I just had a Wonder Woman 38 fence variant go for a 9.8 SS, and somebody won that.
I have no luck on that shit. I don't do it.
And he one spotted that, right?
He one spotted that. Yep. So you could if you gotta get a ticket to get on the dance floor, man. That's how it works. That's how it works. So anyways, this is your next and final.
Motherfucker, what the fuck is that?
Newsstand, baby. It's a newsstand.
It's rare.
Listen,
they don't have a newsstand in the listing.
I want a newsstand.
But they didn't put newsstand in the listing.
Nobody ever said that the seller was smart, just that the buyer was brilliant. And I wish I'd have been bidding.
Shit.
I know. So let's get down to the numbers. You ready for this shit?
3,000.
Less blue labels than there are of ASM 194. Who the fucking guess? 5,253 blue labels.
Yeah, but these are all high grade though.
Now, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. But we compare the 9.8s, right? There's 1,700 of them that are 9.8s.
So half.
So here was something that surprised me because I asked this in
how many 9.9s do you think there are, though, John?
None.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Damn it.
Not a
I was gonna say
I
3.
had always assumed the print run on this was massive because I'd heard it was a massive book at the time. Huge print run. And somebody answered it the other day. It's
75.
like 70,000.
Oh,
right?
I didn't know that.
Like in my head, it was like half a
170,000.
million, 350,000. 70,000 is not that big a print run.
It's about the same as Edge of Spider-Verse 2.
Wow.
They're very similar.
But in our heads, like we've been collectors for a while, we've been drilled. This was a huge print run.
Well, that's what I always thought.
Well, I think it's because when you see the people that have this book, they have 150 copies of this book. They hoarded this thing to death. And so when you see people that have that many copies of one book, your just assumption is, well, this had to have been massively overprinted.
It was
how
also
in the world do you have that many copies?
It was also at a lower print run time in the industry.
Yes.
And
Can we
it's a
talk
number
about?
4. It's a number 4. I mean, it's not like the number 1 of the miniseries. So
No.
Can we talk about the newsstand?
Sure.
Yeah.
There's no CGC data, right? They
Because
don't
they
care
didn't,
because it's
they
not,
didn't note it till recently.
oh no, they don't note it at all because it's not a price variant.
Oh. Well, this guy's going to probably get it noted.
It says Black Panther. What's a raw book? It says Black Panther on it, newsstand on it, and a little UPC symbol. I think these late market newsstands like this are going to continue to demand big dollars.
there's no price difference on Heir to the Empire from direct and newsstand, and they notate newsstand.
It's identifiable, though.
I got no clue, buddy. Legit. We'll have to ask who's the guy we're going to ask. Do you know what's his name?
Sean.
I thought you were just going to pop up the graphic and we could like look cool for a second. But yeah, we'll ask that guy.
Oh, hold on one second. I'll do it again. Hold on.
What do you think the ceiling on this book is?
For the
I thought
newsstand.
it passed
Either
3
one,
months
either one,
ago.
newsstand or the direct.
Jesus Lord. I think I thought we were at the ceiling a long time ago for the direct.
Listen,
This guy.
Yeah, that's our boy. We're gonna have to ask him.
So we're gonna ask him all the modern age questions we can ever talk about. Why does Superman Turner variants get 3 CGC blue labels and the rest get green labels? Because we want to know this stuff. We ain't scared.
Yeah, but Ben, I'm subbing my one Ultimate Fallout 4 that I got. It's going in my next little shipment here, and I wish I'd have bought more. I passed on like 5 copies at like $60 a piece. They were probably like 9.4s, 9.6s.
I thought I had this book in a bin somewhere, but I don't know. It might be somewhere.
I graded 2. I've sold my 9.8 copy and my 9.6. I still have about 7 or 8 raw copies of this that are still polybagged.
Nice.
Sell them.
Get them out of those fucking poly bags. Pardon my French.
Well, I can see slight damage to the spines through the poly bag. So I think
And definitely sell them in the poly bags.
Yeah, but I don't. But again, I don't know what the ceiling is on this. I mean, if Miles is going to be, when I listen to Bird City Comics talking about how their kids identify more with Miles than they do Peter Parker.
Yep.
I mean, is Miles going to be basically Peter Parker 20 years from now? I mean, or even, when I'm looking at my grandkids, are they even going to know who Peter Parker is? Is it going to be all Miles?
It's going to be like Captain America, but like Golden Age Captain America to Chris Evans Captain America, or it's going to be like Miles Morales is the cool version of Spider-Man right now. He's got Nikes, he's got Air Force. I mean, it's,
Well,
young
listen,
kids.
I will say in my head, the
That's
print
the
run of
issue,
that
right?
book was $500,000 to $250,000. And when somebody said 70,000, I went, "Fuck! I should have held them. I should have held them."
Yeah. And for the record, I'm happy that Miles is biracial, but his allure has nothing to do with his skin color or like his shoes. As well, I shouldn't say nothing, but it has far less to do with those things than it does with his age. He's a kid again. They tell that story that appeals to other kids. Kids don't see shit like that. They don't care what kind of shoes somebody wears or they just want a child that they can relate to who's like them. It's why we fell in love with Peter Parker when we were little and we were reading those stories. I mean, identification comes first. And thankfully, children don't identify in the weird kind of ways that like adults do.
Well, we're
they just do that at a real emotional kind of level, people level.
At our age,
cool.
we're like
So,
the third
you might
generation to have been identified at Peter Parker, though, right?
Yeah.
Like the 60s kids,
Absolutely.
the 70s kids, the 80s, even the 90s kids. We're so many generations in.
Yeah,
even no matter how many times
look
they
at like
reread it,
Peter
it's not the
Parker
same guy.
comics. Yeah, but if you look at Peter Parker like related comics now, he's fucking divorced, cheating on his wife with Black Cat. I mean, they're just like weird, kind of like, good God, it's like,
Well,
my dad's in therapist.
Mark
Spider-Man
Waid was very
shit.
smart.
You know what I mean?
Mark Waid, to do the Ultimate Universe, de-aged him, and he kind of got him relevant again. But what was that? 160 issues, 10 years later.
It was super popular too. Right?
I mean, he de-aged him for a generation, but at some point, that's another 10 years. So they're like, I don't think we can do this again. Let's go do a new kid, and that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, really was.
So, do you think I should hold or keep or sell them?
I would sell a couple.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've already. I basically. I got them all a long time ago.
I mean, if I'm a betting man,
I have nothing in them. I mean, like I said, I sold the 9.8 and the 9.6 copy that I graded. So I mean, I'm way ahead.
If you have 7, I'd sell 2.
You saw what I did with. Yeah, you saw what I did with the crap, right? Like I sold those books, made 800, sold some other stuff, made another 5, threw it in and bought the subby one. If I had 7 copies of Ultimate Fallout 4, I'd probably, just because I like the higher grade books, I think they're easier, I'd probably slab and sell them all. Well, press and slab and sell them all, and move it towards one of the damn variants, the one in whatever the hell it is, 50.
that it's 1 in 25. That's at $5,000 now for 9.8.
I think
you
could at least sell 2 to 3 and invest that in something better and keep 4. And
7 at
right.
300's 2,100. You can probably buy a 9.6.
Yeah.
Actually, what I would do if you got 7, sell 3, buy a Spider-Gwen, and you've hedged your bets on both of them.
True.
You know what's also interesting is Mel talks about, like, I'll ask him, like, well, what would you rather have? Yeah, right. Well, Mel's a great, like, taking Mel's temperature about modern comics tells me more than, like, I know about modern comics. I mean, he's just much more in tune with that stuff. He would rather have a first appearance of Spider-Gwen than a first appearance of Gwen Stacy. Wrap your head around that one.
It just is.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like that, it didn't even dawn on me that somebody would think
I think
that
there's
way.
less Spider-Gwen than Gwen Stacy.
Well, he looked at me like I was a moron. He's like, well, of course I'd rather. Spider-Gwen's cool. The hell do I want some shitty cover ASM book that doesn't even have Gwen Stacy's not even on the cover?
You know what he'd rather have, though?
Well, this makes sense when you say it that way. I guess, all right.
We know what he'd rather have over both of them? Big booty Gwen.
That's true. Who wouldn't?
Because nobody dislikes Ben or Gwen with a big booty.
Oh, shoot. So can we talk about the Journey into Mystery thing?
We can. I have nothing to contribute, but you
Ben,
are
you saw
educated.
I don't know. It's sort of like warning to our viewers. You saw the different rumors about Hercules getting a MCU TV show, movie treatment, blah, blah, blah. It was like on all the shows, right? If you remember, about 45 days ago, there was an announcement that Disney inked a deal for live action Hercules.
Kevin Sorbo returns.
They were gonna turn the Hercules cartoon into live action the same way they did with Aladdin and a number of other ones.
Okay.
I wonder whether or not some less sophisticated Marvel scoopers took that news and were like, look, they're casting for Hercules. He's coming to the MCU. We're going to break the story.
Yes.
Yeah,
There are some people that take
Yeah.
any bit of news and fucking screw it up.
I would proceed. I'd proceed with caution and check your sources before going out and spending top dollar on a Journey into Mystery Annual #1. Not that I don't think that it's a great book, a classic book. I just think it's definitely the wrong time to buy. And more than that, I don't even know if he's coming to TV. I would at least investigate
it's a
what I'm
questionable
talking about.
spec at best, because Hercules is not the only Hercules is not Marvel. Like, I mean, Hercules is everywhere.
Yeah.
The Rock has played Hercules.
The Rock played Hercules.
Yeah, there's a Rock Hercules movie.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I would. But I don't buy into any of those theories anyway. So that one, especially like you said, on these crossover characters that don't really, they're not really based from comics. I mean, yeah, they were in comics, but they're not. They kind of transcend comics, and they're not really.
The Marvel
Like,
Hercules is not great.
Yeah, I mean, like when people think Hercules, they're not thinking, "Oh, I need a Marvel book for that." That's not what people think of.
Right.
Thor is the exception because he's a Norse god who kind of became a Marvel character. While people can do movies about Thor that are not Marvel, he has become the standard.
Absolutely.
Hercules is like, I've seen 1,000 Hercules movies. I don't care about your Hercules.
Who could they possibly cast that would make somebody give a shit about Hercules? Nobody, right?
The Rock's already played him, so that's my only answer.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he ain't coming to do that. If he was coming anywhere,
he's not. He's already done it. So I mean,
yeah. So
Chris Hemsworth is Thor. So
yeah,
I don't have a number that can make him a more relevant character than he is.
people get excited about that kind of stuff, though. I mean, Christ, I'm looking at the group chats that I think both of you are in. I'm in a couple that you're not, or maybe you were smart enough to leave, but there were like multiple people that were like, look, I bought this today. And I was just like, oh my God, why would you buy that today of all the days? They're probably watching now like, fuck you, George.
I'm gonna throw an audience question because God damn it, I fucking can. Ozzy has 2K to play with.
Ooh.
My brother rarely has 2K.
Ooh.
He has very limited ability to not buy shit when he has 100 to 500, but he has somehow stumbled upon a very large number of dollars. At 2K, what's the best bronze or silver age book you would buy? Throw that in the comments, guys. Help my brother out because I've tried to talk him into gold, and he's like, fuck you, I don't want to buy gold. I want a bronze or a silver.
High grade? Are we talking about high grade? Or
I don't think he cares. He just wants a bronze or a silver at that price point.
Interesting.
That's what he loves, man. I love the obscure. He loves the standards. I told him a tech, or I'm sorry, is it tech or Bats 22794?
That's what I was thinking.
That's the $2,000 mark to me.
Really? Why would you take that book just because you're fond of it, or you think
Very fond of the classic cover, very classic image, and very rare in grade.
It's never going down.
Thank you, boys, in the chat and in comments. Please just do it because my brother needs some help, please, because he makes poor choices.
Can you get that in a 9.4 though?
It's about $2,000, maybe a little more. For a great book to have.
it's a PC book, not a flip book? Because I'm already thinking of the flip, for the record.
I think, let's just say a book that's not going to go down. Let's say a nice investment book, like a 5-year investment book.
Oh, that's a different issue entirely.
I mean,
he wants either a nice first appearance, a classic cover, or a first villain. The other one on his list is first Sinestro in a very, very high grade. So throw them out there in the comments and go with it, guys.
Yeah, I think some of them. I mean, I'm really high on 70s DC horror type books in high grade because they are just so impossible to find in high grade. I mean, just so impossible. And I think that Batman 227 falls into that.
Oh yeah, Doc
crosses,
Joe and I looked at a 227 in 9.4 at Baltimore 2 years ago, and we're like, we both wanted it. We both went to eat lunch, and when we came back, it was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think that there's I don't think people realize how impossible those books are to find in high grade. They're just impossible. Like sometimes I question whether or not they even are out there.
No, it's so rare.
So yeah, that's where I would, if I had $2,000 and I was looking in that time frame, I would be looking at I would even be looking at some of like the 9.8 of some of the House of Secrets or something that's not necessarily, the ones that everybody is looking at right now, but some of them, just the population or the census numbers on those are just, if you can find them, that's going to be the hard part, is actually locating them. Oh my gosh, look at that! Bryan McClay gave us a super chat.
Aww.
Can I throw one book out at everybody that I would like an opinion on?
Yeah.
One book I can't decide on that is a Bronze Age key that I think is an interesting play that could go so far one way or the other. Green Lantern 76 is so relevant to a generation that I don't know if our generation understands.
It's a good
but
point.
It also could play back the other way and be relevant again, or it could play the wrong way and be just like, oh, that used to be a key, we don't care.
Well, it's ticking up.
It's a fucking tough book.
I love it. I love it.
I don't know. Throw in the chat, gentlemen. What do you think about GL76?
I mean, again, can you find it in high grade? Is it even possible?
It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough book.
Tough book. But yeah, it's on my save searches. I've been waiting. If I had the right amount of money when the right book came up, I'd probably snag one. But I don't know. I'm like,
what's the lowest you would be wanting though? 9.4?
9.2.
Yeah. Maybe 9.2. Depends.
I'd play at 9.2.
I
think 9.2 I'd play because it's DC. If it's Marvel, it'd be a different number. But I think at DC, I'd play it at 9.2.
And again, that's a book that's like so important to, I think, our age group and our generation, because when we were younger, that was like the pinnacle, like.
Because there's no first appearance. There's nothing.
Right. But it changed everything.
That's the theory of one of the Bronze Age books of this turned the table. Yeah.
Yeah, it turned the page, man. It was like it was when adult themed comics happened. Fucking Speedy shooting dope, Green Arrow's like this hipster social justice guy, and like they're telling these stories, and people are just like, what's happening? Where's my classically weird superheroes in their tights? And he's got the goatee on, looking all crazy, got his hood.
We're in a social justice time. It's one of those things that could become irrelevant or become so relevant.
Yeah, well, I say that with no fear or trepidation of infuriating somebody because of whatever. I mean, at the time, no one cared like they do now about those kinds of things. It was radical, and people championed it. And they just really did for decades to come.
It's a book that makes you think, though.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, began the Bronze Age.
So we're heading to the 2-hour mark. I have just one more thing to talk about. For those of you that paid for the DCU channel or the DCU app, the DC Daily just got canceled, which was the daily app or the daily fucking content that they were doing. I've also noticed that the DC animated movies have not been streaming to this app. It feels as if they're slowly killing it because the Doom Patrol has drifted to HBO Max.
Oh, it's so dark, dude.
Swamp Thing got canceled. The only one in limbo is Titans, which is confusing to me because it wasn't as good as Doom Patrol, but it was solid. I mean, I don't care. I'll migrate to the new platform if they want me to, but I think they were trying to build a fan-based, this is the comic hardcore group. And the app was nice because you had access to all their content and all their comics. Not all of them, but a lot. But if they're going to move all the content to HBO Max, they're going to kill this platform, and then there's not really a great. This was the competition to the Marvel app. I don't know the name. The Marvel Digital. So I don't know. I think it's dying. I think it's done. I think we're 6 months out from it being done.
Why did it fail?
Not enough content. We're not marketed correctly. You're not marketing it as the digital reader. Titans was great. Doom Patrol was great. There was great content. Even most people like Harley. It's a little, I don't know. I have not enjoyed Harley.
Like adult content, right?
It was.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but I don't know that it had the broad base appeal.
I couldn't let my kids watch most of it.
Right. I don't have kids. I wouldn't let your kids watch any of it. What the hell?
I mistakenly let them watch Flashpoint Digital, and they're like, Dad, that guy just cut a shot at bullet through Flash's head, and I went, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was good, but like they have not released. Red Sun's not released. The most recent Justice League thing's not released. For the first couple years, they were going a DC animated movie. Wait 6 to 8 weeks, and you'll get it on the app. They aren't doing that anymore. They sent Doom Patrol, which arguably was their most kind of like critically acclaimed show, to the HBO Max, which I'm okay with, but I think it's a dead network now that they are not even. The theory was they were going to play DC Universe as the DC fan app and HBO as the general population app. But once you killed the daily platform for the fans, I think it's done. So,
well, I never subscribed to it. So are they going to move these shows to HBO?
Yes, and I think, but I don't know for sure. And some are already on the CW. And what's interesting is,
Stargirl's doing both.
But it's different, right? Like it's a different cut.
Is it?
Yeah. And you ready for this? Imagine if that's a different cut, what the Swamp Thing cut's going to look like.
So wait, is DC's the longer cut and the CW shorter?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just edited for TV.
Huh. I'm really enjoying Stargirl. The boys have watched the first couple episodes. They like it. I really like fucking Titans, but that's not fit for general consumption.
No. I think there was a batarang in some dude's head. Like,
oh, it's a great show, and fucking, I mean, Brandon Fraser and Robot Man's catchphrases. Fuck.
Yeah, I think his ass was hanging out in one of those too. That wasn't fit for anyone's consumption. I don't think it was just not good. It's just all bad.
You say that, but I mean, when I'm flipping through TV, like when we get off here, I mean, that Harley show is going to be on, and that cartoon is going to be. It's on what, AMC or something like one of those. And they dropped the F-bomb. I had to take a double take. I'm like, did I stumble or did I click on HBO or what am I watching here? I had no problem dropping the F-bomb, 100 times right there on network TV. So I'm not even sure anymore.
Yeah, I don't know when I became like an old fuddy-duddy I don't know. Must have happened a long time or recently, but yeah, I guess I'm kind of shocked by that stuff too, my friend.
Well, I just am like, I don't even know the difference anymore. It's I subscribed to the app because I wanted the original content, and then all of a sudden the original content's somewhere else, and I'm like, why do I have the app? And they're like, well, you have the comics. And I'm like, I don't really read the digital comics because I'm an asshole and like to read it on paper. So cool. I don't. They have great content. It's just strange that they've fucking killed the app. I think the app's dead. They may release Titans on the app, but they'll probably be co-released on HBO Max, and that'll be done. But if they live on HBO, I guess that's okay. It's probably a good place to go.
Yeah, anything HBO has just been, their quality has just been so high.
Yeah.
Shout out to.
I had a lot of faith in Watchmen because it was going to be on HBO. I was like, they don't make bad television.
Did you like Watchmen?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Watchmen was great.
Yeah, it gives me a lot of faith for Green Lantern and whatever Justice League Dark Project or projects they're doing, right? Like, I don't think I would have said that had it gone anywhere else. But Zatanna or Constantine or whatever they plan on rolling out, I'm like, I'm in. You guys may be right. I know people have said like DC spec for 15 years now, hoping that, those books were going to pop up and see the appreciation that Marvel books have, and they haven't. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not HBO in the long term really drives the value of those books.
I'm going to throw out a little props to the Weekend Update and your Saturday article with Mel V.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Who mentioned another HBO potential property with Stranger Comics, Niobe.
Yeah, dude, for the record, call me, watch the retraction come. I had zero faith in it. I was like, this will never get made in a million years. The world changed, and I'm like, nope, it's pretty solid spec these days.
I haven't heard anything about that since the last time it was.
Right. But
no, I think Mel V circled back.
No, there hasn't been. No, that was me, but Mel came in afterwards and filled in the details because Lord knows I don't know him, but for sure that property now has a future. I mean, Hollywood will pay attention and make sure that those kinds of stories get told. They just will. Now, am I saying it's a definite? No. But Asunda, the property is on the rise, as is Jon Stewart, as is Blue Marvel, which, we talked about my auction results, selling those inadvertently at the same time. They're through the roof. Black superheroes, I think, are on the move. And we're going to see more representation of them in television and in film. I'd bet all the money in the world on that.
And deservedly so.
Yeah. Amen.
All right, gentlemen, we got anything else?
Been fucking great to have Stein here, huh?
Yeah,
Stein, who's Stein? Does he write that top 10 thing I hear about?
The Godfather.
Hey, I took this week off.
Now? Can I give my speech now about...
Go ahead, give the speech.
Oh,
you're fine.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is, for all the money that Ben has given each and every one of you viewers with his top 10 list, selling those books, he goes and finds them. He anoints them on the list. You profiteer. Let's earmark some money for him here now. Just a small... No, I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Bad joke. Bad joke.
Yeah, that would.
Good man, Ben, and we appreciate what you do. Honest to God, as somebody who got into comics late, didn't enjoy the Google Plus stuff like you guys did, had the real privilege of meeting you in person and John at the same time when I was getting back into comics. these old episodes of Flipside and your top 10 list really helped me kind of keep track of the market before I knew what the hell was going on. And I think it does that day in and day out, week in and week out for a lot of guys who are coming back or straight away or just starting to collect. And it's a service you get zero credit for, nothing but shit on for. And, you got broad shoulders, and that you do it unapologetically week in, week out. It means a lot to all of us, myself, and, I think a ton of members of the community. So for me to you, thank you, my friend.
I totally appreciate it. Unnecessary, but I appreciate it.
And I try and get a Crow book on the list every week of every year.
Not going to happen.
And he took a vacation last week, and I snuck the Caliber 1% on the list. So,
only time
Ben, thanks for vacation, and you let me win.
Yeah, I had no say in it.
Check out Ben's list come Friday again. Check out comicbookinvest.com and enjoy all the programming on the site. We'll catch you all next week, man. We had a great time.
Thanks, everybody.